It is to do with revisiting an old plan, my gorgeous Cancer. When it comes to the actual November 2021, just remember that there is going to be such an interesting moment that you are going to have, you know? And an interesting moment that you are going to have, it's going to take place within the first 17 days this November 2021. And what is actually going to happen? Suddenly something is going to come to you, whether you're going to be meditating, whether you're going to be relaxing, whether you're going to be chilling out, whether you're going to be just having a moment, you know, thinking, whether you're just going to be sleeping, you know, and you just wake up. But what is actually going to take place? What kind of insight is going to come to you? It's to do with your past. Something is missing. There is a part of you that is pretty much so very, very important and very relevant and very significant when it comes to this spiritual journey. But at some moment in time, at some point in time, you have just maybe tiny little bit lost yourself. So now this is also going to create a new restoring point when it comes to you, because it's going to remind you of a very, very special part of your life, very special part of yourself that you should be paying attention to. This is important and it's really significant because it's going to change quite a lot when it comes to your future and when it comes to your future planning in the best possible way, because it's about this inspiration, it's about the realization, it's about a whole new perspective that is at the same time going to take place, because it's going to require from you to make certain changes, but most certainly you will know what to do. My name is Sasha Bonasin and I'm a psychic medium, and this is your monthly horoscope tarot card reading, and it's for you, my gorgeous Cancer, and it's for November 2021. So this monthly horoscope tarot card focus, it's for you, my gorgeous Cancerini, and it's for November 2021. But you know, your number is number 19. This is a very powerful number when it comes to numerology, and it also means that you are reaching a really special sacred point of your life. On one hand, you will have this really powerful ability to give a credit to yourself, you know, for things that you have done, you know, for things that you have achieved. And this is wonderful because that in itself, it's also going to inspire you, but it's also going to highlight, you know, the next step when it comes to your journey and when it comes to those things that are actually missing in your life. It means that you are reaching a very important stage, my gorgeous Cancerini, and December 2021, it's going to have an absolutely superb connection when it comes to the actual November, because in November you are about to start something really completely brand new, completely different, and it's only going to seem like a really, really tiny, but it's going to explode when you least expect it in the best possible way. So my gorgeous Cancerini, my advice is throughout the actual November, just see what is this, because it's pretty much so to do with something very tiny, very little that you're going to take on, and it's going to in turn and become the most powerful oak in the forest. You know, it's about planting a tiny little seed, and you're going to think, oh no, this is just something tiny little and insignificant, but then you will see that in itself it's going to bring you a really big surprise. You start the process, you kind of like try to inspect the situation, what this is, what is like what you feel kind of connected to, because it's pretty much to do with your personal calling. But the fact that this is actually going to extend into the months of December, it's already giving you the time span, it's already giving you how long is something actually going to take place. Okay, it's pretty much so very important part of your life, but also you need to understand that, you know, anything that comes to you, anything that you want to inspect throughout this month, anything that you want to try, anything that you want to like kind of like just, you know, try, kind of inspect, you know, like you know, this is most certainly the month to actually do it. On another hand, you know, number 19 also in numerology means, my gorgeous Cancerini, that the actual very important news when it comes to the actual somebody very consistent and somebody very persistent and somebody very significant is going to play an important role in your life when it comes to this particular news that you're actually going to get. And it's to do which part of your life you should be investing towards. You know, it's to do with energetic investment. It's to do with the sacred investment. I'm not necessarily talking about the money, but I'm talking about the time, I'm talking about the energy, and I'm talking about, you know, the future planning and doing the right thing. Most certainly, you know, this important news, it's also going to shed so much light on the Tower situation that you have had over the last 12 months, because there was a Tower situation that you've had. There was a certain situation just threw you out of bag. It really surprised you, and it left you kind of in an unknown area, in an unknown energy, in an unknown vibration, in an unknown dimension, and it affected you in so many different ways. And only when you kind of like get hold of the month of November, and when you see right at the beginning of the November, you will see how much inspired you're going to feel, and how suddenly you're going to start feeling like you want to explore things. You want to, you know, you're going to feel inspiration that you didn't feel in a while, but that at the same time it's going to extend your own power when it comes to the courage as well. And that most certainly it's going to lead towards a very powerful vision when it comes to your future. You are going to have such a strong and powerful vision. This is going to be absolutely mind-blowing. You're not going to be able to explain, but things in the future you will be able to feel very, very vividly, and that in itself is going to be your energy, it's going to be your power, it's going to be your guiding light. So it's just kind of going to be pushing you at those moments when you kind of like really get worried about the situation around you, with things going like negative and dark and uncertain. Then this is going to be a guiding light, and it's also going to be leading you towards the right direction when you find yourself rather indecisive at around the end of the month. So now you will actually most certainly know what to do. So when I say that, you know, this information that you're going to have an important news when it comes to which part of your life you should actually invest towards, I mentioned that there was a Tower situation within the last 12 months. You know, something happened to you and it threw you out of balance. Maybe you didn't even understand or realize how much this actually threw you out of balance, but it's just kind of affected your way of planning. It affected your concentration. It affected you when you needed to be like pretty much like committed to the task at hand. You know, this was bringing you lots of worries and problems because you were like really thrown back. So this is pretty much going to be brilliant when it comes to that Tower situation that karmically had to stay with you for like about 12 months. So now it's slowly coming to an end. And you know what's going to happen? Do you know what is going to happen following that? It's going to be about determination. You know, it's determination that you will feel like the great initiative, you know. And I'm not saying that you didn't feel determination and initiative, but this time this is going to feel so strong, so powerful, and you're going to find yourself like in a very interesting situation, like where you kind of like do things, you make things, you're doing things, you're trying to achieve things, but now you're going to surprise yourself how much energy you're going to have. So use it wisely, my gorgeous Cancerini. It happens every now and then, and because it's the powerful month of the actual November, is the 11th month of the year, and it's also number 11. It's all to do with our own spiritual awakening. It's all to do with a step in the right direction, but also having the confidence and power just to sometimes you just have to swim against the currents. As simple as that. So you have to trust your intuition, you know, so you're not gonna be led astray. On another hand, it's about this initiative. It's going to bring you strength at the same time, and it's going to make you really, really active. There is a specific part of yourself that is going to be screaming to be noticed, you know, and you're going to notice that part of yourself because it's going to come through you directly through your subconscious mind. But every single time when you're thinking about it, you're going to spark up. What this is, you should throw yourself into this situation, because you know this life is really short. I've mentioned this before. We are 10, we are 20, we are 30, we are 40, we are 50, we are 60, we are 70, we are 80, we are 90. You know, it goes like that, life on this earth. We obviously move on somewhere else after we die, but then again at the same time the life on this earth, it's really, really short. So this is why I wanted to mention this, because it's going to be really relevant to this particular situation. situation. You know, this is wonderful because at the same time, your own energy, your own strength, it's going to be keeping you more power. The more you focus on things that you actually want to achieve. And also when it comes to the certain delay, there is something that was delayed, you know, the specific part of your life, something that you've been waiting for such a long time to start moving on. And there is going to be quite interesting news about it. It is not going to be like kind of like all sorted out. It's the problem, very annoying problem that is just finally going to start moving on. It's not going to be completely sorted, but you will realize that the things are going to start looking up for you at around mid-November when it comes to this specific situation in particular. You know, it's to do with the resolution of the problem that you're gonna have. Very powerful conclusion. This is gonna be going towards the very powerful conclusion, but then this is going to bring you healing into your life almost immediately. And when it comes to that, this means that you just have to listen to your body, pay attention to your body, pay attention to what your body is telling you. You know, if you're like a kind of like if your stomach is a little bit strange, you know, then just drink lots of water and try to drink like lots of organic chamomile tea, organic dandelion tea, because they're absolutely brilliant. You know, it helps so much for so many different ways, but primarily it's going to help you to flush out toxins out of the system, and it's going to do you really, really great. And also try to avoid sugar. You know, I cannot stand sugar. And somebody was also asked, and if it's to do with your tummy, because I know your stomach is going to be a little bit sensitive. So, but I know the sugar is also going to be playing like even worst role, you know, when it comes to that, if you are taking sugar. And somebody told me like, but if I have a brown sugar, is brown sugar okay? No, baby, no. Brown sugar, white sugar, green sugar, red sugar, do not take it. Do not go for it, because it's all exactly the same thing. No, baby, no. Try to avoid sugar, please, 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 I beg you. Try to take something like organic maple syrup instead. I would say organic honey, for example, but then again, actually, to be honest with you, my favorite would be organic maple syrup, because I know organic honey vegans wouldn't, for example, want to take, you see. So for organic maple syrup would be for everybody, but then again, to me, it's my favorite. And this is important because when you feel like a little bit drained and tired, you know, this energy goes for so much longer than when you would kind of take sugar. So this is quite good when it comes to your stomach, and it's something that I would highly recommend you. But on another hand, just try to pay attention to what your body is telling you, because there is the specific part that you should be paying attention to when it comes to your body. And this month, your body is going to let you know. And this is going to be quite important indeed. On another hand, you know, it's also very, very satisfactory result that you are going to have here, and I really like this, you know, satisfactory result when it comes to the actual compromise. So there is an important compromise you are going to have. Just remember, an important compromise you are going to have this month, and it's going to be rather satisfactory result, better than what you think. It's going to, in fact, it's actually going to surprise you as well, because it's almost immediately going to make you feel really artistic, and it's going to inspire you like a big mama. It's going to inspire you like there is no tomorrow. And I like this so much. So the huge annoying problem is coming to an end. So, you know, it's a bit of like a compromise that you're going to have. But when it comes to that problem, it's about conclusion. When it comes to compromise, then it's going to be really, really kind of like a positive for you indeed. Something very important is going to come out of it over the next 14 weeks. Over the next 14 weeks, something really enormous, big, important is going to happen to you when it comes to that compromise. And on another hand, what else that means, it's giving you this golden timeline. It's giving you this like you know, timeline already, like how long is something going to take. So on another hand, you can use this both ways. If you do need to talk about something important, if you do need to discuss about something really important, now this is the month to do it. And this is what is going to bring you really important unfoldment in your life. And it's going to happen much sooner, and you're going to be much more successful if you do it this month, because the energy is going to be absolutely superb. On another hand, what else I was going to say, you know, it's just by the time you come to the actual end of November, it's all about you taking the next steps. And also on another hand, just remember that there are going to be some bold and ambitious choices that you will kind of be facing, and most certainly it's just basically important to communicate. It's important to express yourself. It's important to talk. It's important to kind of be surrounded by people who mean to you so much, but it's also important to see what other people maybe think. But this is special people and people who are important to you, because when you open your mouth and when you express yourself, something is, you will be told something very specific about somebody very close to you, and that is just, first of all, it's not going to make sense, but then a few days later you're going to be like, yeah, that's absolutely right, yeah, I should do this, you see. So this is why this is so important. On another hand, this is all about expanding your plans and continue to move forward, continue to move forward, continue to move forward, no matter what no matter what, no, continue to move forward no matter what. And especially when it comes to the last week of September, the last week of November, especially when it comes to the last week of November, you will be facing the situation where somebody is going to be very draining, like, oh no baby, no, like rather devilish snaky person. But then again, you're going to have to like kind of just remember that that person is going to like kind of like be facing you, or you will be dealing with that particular person who has got this ability to drain the energy. And when people do this, then they can kind of like mess us up in such a way where we don't see things for what they are at that moment in time. When we go home, then we just remember like, I should have said this, I should have said that, is this type of person. So you just stick to yourself and make sure you understand that this is about you continuing to move forward, because what's going to happen is this is going to actually bring you success later on, material attainment. You're going to find yourself on an advanced stage, but that in itself is going to reflect even on your health, for example, in the best possible way. But most importantly, it's going to bring you victory and stability, because it's something that you wanted to do for such a long time, but this kind of affected you, so you decided to kind of chill out a little bit. So now, when it comes to the actual health, this is so important, my gorgeous Cancerini, because it's pretty much so. I already told you about your stomach, about your tummy, but at the same time, it's really important to try to promote friendly bacteria within your gut. So friendly bacteria you can get, like for example, in yogurts, you know, and things like that. So this is something important. So you can get rid of the bad guys and you can bring the good guys in. On another hand, what else I was going to say, more important than ever, keep going when it comes to boosting your immune system. Organic acerola cherry powder, organic acerola cherry capsules, organic camu camu powder, organic camu camu capsules. Both of these supplements are absolutely superb when it comes to its vitamin C content. So, and they're both natural. So this is something I would highly advise you to take, with natural vitamin D, D3, and natural zinc as well, on every single day, to take it every single day. Okay, very important indeed. Okay, if you're on any other medications, if you're pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, you just need to check with your doctor, you just need to check with your GP. Only your doctor or GP can tell you whether this can interact with your existing medications or not. So now I'm going to see what is going to be the most important day, the first one. But before I go there, I would highly recommend you to get something like a black obsidian. It's like a must to wear in November and December. This is beautifully going to protect your energy. It's beautifully going to give you this grounding, you know. So it's going to protect you, it's going to help you with your own grounding, it's going to bring you the very much necessary balance to deal with situations and with people throughout November and December that are a little bit draining our energy. And this is also going to be very good when it comes to your own inspiration and finding yourself like, oh, indecisive. This helps you pretty much so to kind of go for the right thing. This gorgeous black obsidian comes with a sterling silver setting and a sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, my gorgeous Cancerini, you're also supporting my channel as well. The 4th of November, it's pretty much so, you know, like pay attention to the certain contradiction. Okay, pay attention to the certain contradiction, my gorgeous Cancerini. This is very important, okay, because that contradiction is going to open your eyes, and something is going to happen at that moment in time. It's actually in between the 1st and the 4th of November. In between the 1st and the 4th of November, you will be facing the situation where you're going to find yourself like very much so like it's to do with indecisiveness. Indecisive situation is going to take place in between the 1st and the 4th of November 2021, and that is just all pretty much so to do with the certain contradictions, and these contradictions you're going to become aware of, and this is going to get you thinking, and it's pretty much so kind of like going to create a little bit of a weakness within you. But you will also understand at this moment in time what was making you weak, what was making you negative, and what was also draining your energy. And now at this moment moment in time, you need to see what is your intuition telling you. Okay, it's about you, but then again, it's about you will want kind of to avoid certain mistake that you've made in the past. This is it, yeah. You will want to avoid a certain mistake that you've made in the past. This is very important indeed, because at the same time, this is gonna kind of be your guiding light in a sense of like a feeling enthusiastic and optimistic. There is the creativity going to take place that it's going to be very enhanced in between the 1st and the 16th of November in particular, you know, and you're going to become aware of like a certain news of a rather exciting opportunity which is going to surprise you. But then again, this is going to make you even more creative. You know, you need to understand here, you need to do things that make you feel passionate, and also very important to finish what you start. Throughout the months of November, finish what you start. Okay, because karmically this is a charged up time, so it's going to reflect on your spirituality and most importantly on your personal spiritual journey as well. So this is very important indeed. The second important date, my gorgeous Cancerini, before I go there, I would also again like to recommend you to get something like a tiger's eye pendant. It's like a must, because on one hand it's going to kind of make you feel it's going to make you even more creative. It's going to bring you lots of inspiration. It's going to be very positive when it comes to your prosperity, your success, your future planning, your current planning. This is brilliant for career, but it's also brilliant when we are planning, because it opens up so many pathways within us, but at the same time it has got the ability to protect us against evil eye. It's a must for November and December to have. This comes with the sterling silver setting and the sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. But buying things from my channel, you're also supporting my channel as well. The second important date is going to be on the 16th of November. Now, you know, this is the moment of your own personal spiritual transition, spiritual transformation, spiritual change. And how is this spiritual change going to slap you? You know, how is it going to slap you? You're just suddenly going to see that there is a specific part of your life that you feel so bored about. Like it's not going to make sense anymore to you. And that in itself, it's also going to create this doorway that is actually going to open, because it's pretty much so the right thing to pay attention to. So it's about you realize exactly which part of your life is slowly coming to an end, you know, and it's to do with the sacrifice that you're going to need to make before this relevant readjustment. But then again, this is going to lead towards your own regeneration, rebirth, and it's also going to be the way out of like a very kind of like an annoying situation that was like making you very indecisive for the last 9 months. You know, now this is about the balanced force and harmony that you are going to have, but at the same time you need to remember that tact is necessary to maintain pace. This is something that you need to remember. So no need to rush into anything and things like that. You know, this is the time, you know, when you're going to realize something so important. You know, it's the time of wisdom. You know, it's about a sound judgment that you are going to have, but it's coming from the very specific part of your vibration when it comes to your serene knowledge. You know, it's to do with the common sense, but then again, it's because spiritually you're going to be so penetrated, and it's also a lot to do with what you have learned so far in life. This is all going to make sense, but most importantly, very kind of like interesting hidden emotion, it's going to come to the surface. This is very important for you to understand, because it's to do with your own practicality, but also the fact that you need to be quite analytical at the same time, you know, because this is going to help you with the part of your life where you frequently felt restrained and which doesn't make sense anymore. So it's also at the same time, it's going to kind of within the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th of November, you're going to kind of like really become aware of like a little unknown danger. But it's brilliant because you will become aware of it. So that it's in itself, it's also going to be like a God's gift, like a blessing for you, because you will be able to avoid this situation in your life. The third important date, my gorgeous Cancerini, would be the 25th of November. Now, the 25th of November, you know, is just like about basically Just remember that you need to be loyal to yourself in such a way where you need to understand that the specific part of your life is going to become obvious, and it's not only the 25th of November, but it's the 25th of November when it's going to start, but it's going to be relevant from the 25th of November until the end of that month, where you need to, something is going to become obvious. Certain goal, it's going to need a bit more. It's going to need a bit more Vavumish energy. It's going to need a bit more of your own projection, of your own energy. It will be very important to recognize what this is, and also exactly which services do you need to kind of offer more towards the specific goal. This is important because it's going to get back to you like 1 million times later on. What I really like on the 25th of November, it's a quite refreshing time, because you're going to become, there is a certain information, phone call, something that you're going to become aware of, where you're going to realize that this is slowly becoming like the end of rather challenging times when it comes to you, and things are looking up after this moment in time, because this is pretty much going to bring you rather welcome relief, and also the end of like some kind of like a very kind of negative stage that was bringing you down so much. So this is going to bring you a new hope into your life, and that in itself is gonna like, ooh la la, it's gonna, that vibration is going to refresh you, it's gonna re-energize you, and it's just kind of gonna highlight a certain capacity, highlight something very special and unique about yourself, so you will know what the next step is going to be. This is pretty much so going to kind of like make you realize a little bit of a devilish person around you to pay attention to, not around you every day, but somebody's just not kind of like going to be who they claim that they are at around the end of November, but that person hasn't got anything to do with you or with your life. But then again, at the same time, it's going to be playing an important role when it comes to the next step that you're actually going to make, because you will be able to avoid certain people, certain situations, or certain group of people in your life. But then again, subconsciously you were aware of this, or even maybe consciously, but then again, this is going to be playing an important role for you yet again, because it's going to redirect you slightly in the best possible way. But the last thing that I'm going to say, what is going to actually take place in between the 25th of November and the end of that month, pay attention to the ideas. Pay attention to the ideas. These ideas are going to seem quite complex, but all what they will need just a little bit of refinement indeed. You also need to understand that you are about to overcome obstacles, and what you need to understand, these obstacles are also going to be connected to you communicating clearly, and also like communicating to people in your life that are important to you, that are significant to you, because every single time you will get something, some kind of information from them, because they know you. So these informations are the best because they're rather sacred, because they come from people who are important in our life. So you also need to pay attention to what people who are important to you trying to kind of point out at you. On another hand, remain objective. Remaining objective is really significant. So now I'm just going to see briefly what to pay attention to in the first part of November, mid part of November, and the last part of November, my gorgeous Cancerini. The first part of November, it's like it's a monumental energy that you're going to have when it comes to planning. So this is going to be superb when you plan for the future. But this is a great time to plan for the future. And what does that mean, to plan for the future? Well, it means that you will be able to reach the level of your subconscious mind. It's going to stretch a bit more further, even more. So when you kind of find yourself in an element of planning, there's so many ideas that you are going to have. There's so many ideas that you're going to become aware of. There's so many ideas that you will be aware of that you weren't aware of before. So just remember that, very important indeed. On another hand, when it comes to the mid-November, remember that actually never give up. This is the moment where things are going to be like a little bit bizarre. Also, maybe somebody is going to leave just a little bit of bitter taste in your mouth, and you will see the situation again that hasn't got anything to do with you, and this is going to affect you a little bit emotionally. It's just going to create a little bit of emotional confusion. Just remember to never give up, my gorgeous Cancerini. Just remember this. It's so important. And you will see what I mean when it comes to the mid-November 2021. It's all going to make sense. The last part of November, my gorgeous Cancerini, it's all about the actual, you have to remember to listen to intuition, because you're going to find yourself really questioning yourself, something to do with your future, something to do with like what you want to do and certain changes that you will want to make. But here it's really important to listen to your intuition and pay attention to signs. The very interesting signs that you are going to have. I know that you're going to worry at around the end of November, but it's completely unnecessary worry. And if you do find yourself worrying about, I'm looking at the bigger picture, and if you find yourself like worrying a lot, just remember that it's unnecessary, because there is a very interesting sign and revelation you're going to have, which is going to make everything clear for you by the end of November 2021. Okay, so now I'm just going to see what is going to happen to those of you who are in relationship. So it's basically your partner. This is a great time to actually move forward with your life. What I really like is that your partner is going to come up with a certain idea. This idea will be very important. This idea will be very interesting. And your partner got this idea from kind of like facing the certain situation. And this idea is going to be absolutely brilliant, because you know what? It's most certainly going to lead towards your own financial security, towards something very, very important, later on. So it's very interesting to try to pay attention to what this idea actually is. And on another hand, there is a very kind of big problem. Family matter is kind of slowly going to come to an end this month. And I really like it, because I think it affected you so much, because you were both worrying so much. So that's coming to an end, which is absolutely brilliant. So it's going to give you a bit more time to focus on other things and what the next step it's actually going to be for both of you. When it comes to those of you that are single and ready to mingy, my gorgeous Cancerini, when it comes to you, those of you that are single and ready to mingy, you see, you will be facing a big change. You're gonna start doing something differently, and maybe you will go somewhere new. Maybe you will visit a new place, but it's to do with some kind of continuation. So you go somewhere, you go there again, and you go there again. I'm telling you this because this is going to be playing an important role when it comes to someone really nicely, gently walking into your life, sliding into your life beautifully with their own energy. And I say this because I know how positively this energy is actually going to affect you. But, it is not going to happen this November. This November, it's about you starting up some kind of big change, when it comes to you starting to go somewhere. Maybe you will be revisiting the place that you revisit normally, but you're just gonna kind of like maybe increase the amount of days. Maybe somewhere where you go every 3 days, somewhere where you go every 2 days, somewhere where you go every week. It really depends, but there is some kind of consistency going to be connected to it. But it's the big change as well about it. Maybe you will change the area. Maybe it's to do with the change. This is the time, this is the moment that it's very important when it comes to someone walking into your life, which is going to happen in December. But in November, you need to understand that there is someone that you need to let go. This is as important as like waiting for someone really special to come up. So there is some kind of disappointment that you are going to have with somebody. Maybe you had a little bit of kissy with someone. Maybe you had a little bit of stranger in the night, Cancerini in the morning. Maybe you had a bit of it like that moment. But however, it is more about the learning experience. It's more about the experience that you're going to get out of it, which is going to be really relevant and healing later on for you, because it's an integral part of your spiritual journey. So it's just somebody that maybe you were still kind of paying attention to, you were still holding on to. Maybe you never had anything with this person. Maybe you saw this person, that person saw you, and you were like, hello, darling. You're like kind of looking at each other, and then you will realize that this is not it, But there is something very important that it's going to be there, because after that moment in time, someone really kind of important and substantial is going to come forward, and it only happens after we've learned a certain lesson. So there is a certain lesson that you're going to learn through this. So you're just going to have to let that person go And then you will see that, you know, December, it's going to look up really nice, looking up really nicely when it comes to somebody kind of like really important walking into your life, my gorgeous Cancerini. Okay, my gorgeous Cancerini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I love every single one of you. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye. Mwah.